One of the most important aspects of building any kind of website is consistency. And one of the easiest ways to handle that is to use a CSS framework. In my example, I use Core Framework. Now what we're going to do in this video is we're going to combine Core Framework with Gutenberg for free, but also use that in conjunction with the Bricks add-on for Gutenberg, which unfortunately isn't free, but I'll link all the details down in the description down below. So if you're ready to get started, let's take a look at what I'm talking about. First things first, we're going to install the Core Framework add-on. I've already done that. And then once we've got that installed, we're going to come into the Core Framework section. Inside there, we can go to add-ons. You can enable the Gutenberg add-on from here, which like I say is totally free. And if you're using the Bricks add-on, simply drop in your key, enable it, job done. Set up all the parameters you want. If you want to find out more about setting up Core Framework, you can check out this video. Again, linked in the description for you. So once that's all done, let's take a quick look at what we have to work with. So this is an example of a site that I'm working on. And one of the benefits of working this way is that we have Core Framework set up throughout. So all of our variables, all those kinds of styles, colors, typography settings, all those kinds of things have been set up. But these are kind of arbitrary values, and sometimes you may want to override those and do something a little bit more creative, but still harness the power of Core Framework. Well, we can do just that. So this is our template, but what we have here in this main tab is we're simply using the post content, and we set that up to work with normal Gutenberg content as part of WordPress. The benefit of this is that we can use whatever content we want from inside the normal Gutenberg editor without giving anyone access to the Bricks backend side of things. So this is the template setup. Now let's go and take a look at one of the properties and the content we have inside there. So this is one of our properties, and as you can see, we've got the normal standard Gutenberg editor with a couple of images inserted into it. And if we take a look on the right-hand side, we've got some custom taxonomies using advanced custom fields for things like property location. We've also got things like property type, property tenure, and so on. And we've got a range of custom field things like prices and those kinds of things. Those are all being pulled into the normal template. What we want to concentrate on is this main area. So now, if we go and select inside here, let's take this first paragraph, for example, you'll see now we've got the Core Framework options over on the right-hand side. This is now giving us control of all of those parameters we have set up as part of Core Framework. So things like typography, spacing, borders, shadows, colors, all those kinds of good things. So let's say we want to take this particular paragraph and we want to apply some classes to it to give us that control. Well, we can come over and you can see we've got a range of different tabs here. We can, if we want to, we know what we're looking for. We can search for a class. So we may want radius, for example. You can see you can start typing. That will show us all the radius options. Or you can just simply go through. So let's say to start off with, we want to change the background color. You can see all our colors are available here. And as we scroll through, we get a preview inside the editor. So we can see exactly what we're going to do. So let's find a nice light color like so. Once we apply that, you can see now this active Core Framework class has been applied to it. So we can see immediately what class is there. Want to get rid of it? Click on it. Job done. Gone. Let's put that back on for now. So now there's our first class. So now if we come over, we can also do things like go into the typography. You can adjust the size of the typography. So we can say we want this to be a little bit smaller, for example. Then we can see we got control over things like line height. So if you want to adjust your line height, you can do that here as well. You've also noticed we've got things like text modifiers. So we can change this to be italic or lowercase or uppercase, all those kinds of things you have defined. Let's set this to be italic. Let's come over then into the spacing options. And from here, we can adjust the spacing for things like gaps, padding, margins, and so on. So for this, let's go into padding, and you can see we can just control the padding and the spacing from here. So let's set some padding on all four sides to be medium, and you can see we can control left side, right side, top, bottom, all those options are here, so you can get as granular as you need. And again, like I say, you can easily just start typing in and find that class without having to go through the process of scrolling through and finding everything from here. So there's our padding setup. Now if we come over into layouts, you can see we've got layout options. Now you may not always get exactly what you want here because we are still working inside Gutenberg itself, so there are some limitations, but those options are there, so I would recommend having an experiment and playing around. Coming to our design, for example, let's set a border radius. We'll say we want to set this to be medium. Want to put a border around this? Well, we can click on borders. We'll say, yep, we're going to add a border. Again, you've got your top, left, bottom, right, and also all the way around. We can then set up your opacity. You can set up your border colors. All those kinds of good things are available. Coming to your components, if you've created components, things like buttons and so on, you can use those from here. You can see we've got a range of different options, but I'm not using components anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then finally, you've got also your sort of utility classes and positioning and things like that. So you want to display none, There you go. You can display now. You want to make it visible, hidden, set your overflow, all those kinds of options are here. Positioning, again, you can set this relative, absolute, and so on. So once we've set all these up, if we hit save, now we've applied those styles using our global class system using Core Framework. And because we're using this inside bricks as well, we have access to exactly the same information, and we know that this is going to display the way that we want it to. So now if we make sure this is saved, preview this, scroll down, you can see there is our new section, customize the way we want using those core framework variables, making sure that everything is consistent. So our spacing, our borders, all those kinds of things are going to be in line with everything else where we're using these classes. This just opens up a range of additional possibilities to customize and keep consistency using the free Core Framework add-on for Gutenberg to allow you to control that inside the Gutenberg editor in the same way you can inside Bricks itself. I think it's pretty neat and pretty useful. But as always, I welcome your feedback. Drop a comment down below. And if you want to check out any of the links, they're all available in the description. If you want to learn more about Core Framework, you can check that out here. My name is Paul C. This is WPTuts, and until next time, take care.